So just starting with the generic model, when you open the generic model up, if the first thing you do is open up window tile, or I'm sorry, window tile, WT. All right. Now, Eric, did you say if you hit ZA, it does all of the? No, it only does the view you're in. I got you. So I tried to explain to you the other day that this is really how the British draw. If we were going to want to draw for ourselves, what I do is I go click to this view and then I open the right view. So the right view, that's how Americans typically draw. So they draw these three views lined up, just like they're lined up. Now, the first thing we're going to do is throw these reference planes in, right? And I'm going to try to, you don't have to do that 2 foot because we're going to make all those dimensions. I did like you discovering. Oh, what did you guys discover? Nathan clicked on the dimension. And even though it was a parametric dimension, it fixed the parametric dimension.
Yeah, you used to couldn't do that.
You know, it didn't used to be able to, but I think I can even do it in 2020. But here's where you guys missed your step. It really is beneficial if you just take this from the weak reference to what that object is, which is left. Then you take that and copy that to the clip from the clipboard and put that in on its name. You were clicking on here and typing in the names, which meant that you left all of your outer edges as weak references. See, when we make these things into real references, it makes it like the Lego pieces are a little bit better when they're snapping together in the project, if that makes sense. So when you're placing these, sometimes you're like, why won't that family quite snap to the edge of the wall like I want it to? Because they're weak references. Because that's one of the effects. That's not the only effect of a weak reference, but it's one of the effects. Okay? So you were close. You at least named them. What you got to understand is there's a reason we're naming them buggers. Okay? And that's what I'm hoping to show you. Right? Then Eric made a very good point. You caught it right onto it. You created this reference plane. Now, this reference plane, if we're going to be attaching a duct to the center of it, you do want two of these. You want one up, one down. But if this is like a piece of equipment like that rooftop unit, you really only want the height going up there. So then you would only have this being the top. Right? And then you did perfect. You came in here and you did your dimension and you, I think, missed it one time, but we get those things equal. That's only if you want an object that's placed by its center or to call out its center mark. Okay. Then you went in here and you said this is a width. And I would disagree with you, Eric. I know some objects we would make that the length, but the typical objects, this is going to be the depth.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I sort of wonder when you make it mechanical equipment, does it give you those automatically? And I don't think it does. See, we just have the width and the depth. And then obviously the last one you would have. Always remember, go to that reference plane, Nathan, the height. And that was a good pick. If you pick the reference plane, then you can pick on that and you can set that to be whatever height you want it. All right. And then this is where the 4 views, you struggled a little bit because you didn't have the 4 views when you were trying to do this. And it is a challenge to select these. What I typically do is I just cross everything. I go to my front view I cross everything. And yes, Eric, I know that it says right here that those objects are pinned, but it'll still maximize the 3D extents. However, I can't come in here and I can't stretch it. So, this is one of those spots where people who like to pin objects, and you'll notice what I'm doing is I'm making my box just a little bit higher. So it's bigger than all my reference planes. You didn't do the higher part. That's why those lines didn't go higher above there. So what you do now is you get those reference planes and that level line. You go to your filter. You say, I just want those reference planes in that level line. Right click over top of it, maximize 3D extents, and delete that box.
Okay, that's why I didn't even do the filter.
And to be honest with you, somehow I missed these 3 lines up here, which I don't know how that would have happened. See, when I do this extrusion, that bigger object, and I pick these guys here, they don't get smaller. I will tell you if this is a lot bigger. Right? If I go to those reference planes and I say maximize 3D extents, now they'll go bigger, but there must be a limitation on how small they'll actually go. Okay? And you'll notice that what I just did by doing that, see how it adjusted them here? It adjusted them buggers down there. Because I did it to that smaller box. So I'm just doing an undo right now to where I was about to do that because we found out they can't go any smaller. I'm not really positive why. I'd like a better answer on that. So your first fan that you did, my recommendation is I probably would have in that guy said that you did first you did an extrusion, you went to your front view and you said, okay, so in that model, because it was around a round object, the height equaled the width. So if you actually would have just said right here, Control C, Control V, now my height's going to equal my width. Okay? Whether it's both going to be 2 foot or both be 4 foot. Then I loved what you did next, and you're gonna catch on to why I did that in a second. So now if I go into my front view, always remember to go into the view before you go to the creates. Okay? Always go to the view you want. You've got to get that tab, and all it is the tab just highlights just a little bit. It used to be much easier to tell that. You have to go to the right view, and then you do your extrusion. And I believe the way you guys actually started that guy off was with a sweep. And you said, sketch a path, right? And then first time you were in the wrong work plane. Okay. And then here's where we hit escape 2 times and we drag this down so that we can see it in this view. I love the way you did that. Then you finish that out. And then you came down here and you did your profile and you're learning from your profiles and you're doing a great job with that. Understand, we can also have predefined profiles. You'll know that by the end of next week as we get more sophisticated with this. But for right now, you just wanted to draw that L, right? And I think this is what you did. You said that you were going to, you thought about it a little bit. Look, make it the 2-inch. Don't struggle so much. Just try to draw. If it doesn't feel right, see, then you come back here and say, maybe this leg needs to be a little bit wider. And I can move that over to here and I could say 2 inches. All right. But you shouldn't even be thinking like that right now. All you should be trying to do is put that angle on there. All right. And was that the what direction that you wanted that angle to go? You remember?
Yeah.
That goes
Okay.
into the wall.
All right. Then you struggled with your next one. Your next one's where you made your mistake. Okay. Because your next one, you went in here and you went create and you did an extrusion. Right. And you did this guy. I'm not even doing it exact because that was a terrible idea. Okay, then you oh wait, I'm going the wrong direction. I want to go the other way. See, notice how right here, if I know that I'm back here to 2 inches, I could actually say start at -2 inches, right? And
No,
then
it's
go.
not. It's on that part of the bracing. The little legs to that angle are going into the wall, and the frame is inside the room
All
holding the
right.
fan.
So what Eric is actually saying is, watch this. I just went into my view. I went to here. I go to mirror. I go mirror original, and I finish. That's what you're seeing, Eric, right? See, that tells me that this goes back to 0 and it would bump into it. But I'm telling
Correct.
you, that would be an absolute mistake because what you really probably wanted, if you looked at that picture, was not an extrusion. Before you just draw an extrude, always think if there's something else you can draw. Okay. In this case, what about if you would have drawn something like this? What if it would have come out here and you would have said that cage around it is about a 3-inch cage, and I'm going to go to here, and then I'm actually even going to come in here. You got to get better with these curve commands. This one here's the tangent, and I could bring that guy right down here, or I can bring him to there and then close out with a straight line. Okay. That's actually, oh, I didn't put my axis line. Typically, Nathan, I draw my axis line not on that same purple line because then it becomes hard to figure out which one you're picking sometimes. The axis does not need to be on the purple lines. If we say finish, right? Now, oh, this is frustrating. It's not going to the right spot. Well, if I came in here and I simply put in a reference plane and I name that reference plane. Well, remember, this would be my center, top, bottom. There's actually a good one in here. This should be center elevation. Why does this become beneficial? Because now what will happen if I dimension that and make it equal, what will happen is we can actually read the center elevation of an object and tell a person where that mounting height is. So that revolve that I did, that I spent the time to do, all it needed to do was go to the right center elevation. Okay. Now, the reason I say that is I wanted to show this object off, and that is if we make a material, see how this has no material? And you know how I always make materials. I go to there and I say duplicate, and this is going to be my fan gauge. And I'll be honest, this will go a long way for representing a lot of objects. All that fan cage is going to do, this color's not real critical. Matter of fact, I like that dark gray. What is critical is that we're going to put a hatch on that thing. It's going to be a model hatch, and it's going to be named fan cage. Okay. I hit it too early. I want a cross hatch maybe on this guy, and I'm just going to do it at 0 just to see how it looks. All right. Now watch what happens when I apply that guy on there. All right. So what you find if I tighten that up a little bit, okay? Right there, and edit that. And I'm going to go to maybe a 3-inch by 3-inch. All right. Do you see how the first line I drew sort of messes up my pattern? So if I went back into there and I said, you know what, this guy's bad for me. What if I just keep this guy coming right on over there? Now, obviously, what I'd like to do, is there a way to even do that? I don't think you can do that. I think you're going to have to draw a brand new one. Now, what you can do is if you draw a line going in the opposite direction, and then you come off a tangent to that. That was how I did it. So now if I go tangent to that object and close it out, so it's all one shape. Notice how a lot of times I won't even do the trim and extend. I just grab that little dot. Watch how that fan cage begins to look. Now, it really gets interesting when you realize that what you can do is if you just add a little bit of transparency to him, and it doesn't even matter how much, and I'll show you, because sometimes, do you see how you can now see through it? And you could put those fan blades there, and we could say, you know what? I want that pattern just a little bit tighter, but you don't want to go much tighter than about 2 inches. I'll go 1 inch. What you'll find is you're now showing more detail than it's worth. When you zoom out, you'll lose that detail. So you don't get that detail till you're at that one level. It somewhere in here it drops. See how it drops? That's because that material, you get this, you go, because that's what we do in Revit. We're looking closely at this object, but in the Revit environment, we're typically looking at these objects from like 4 or 5 feet away. So therefore, don't go overboard on this spacing. Personally, I don't think I would go much under 3 inches. And you can imagine if you're looking at it in the typical room, that looks like a fan. If you had the fan blades behind there, it would look beautiful. All right. And then I know that you were the beautiful part to what we just did is we've now set it up so that that is fully stretchable. If we made that 4 foot by 4 foot, and you see what happened? I never clicked this equality. Well, look, when I fix it, it fixes it. So yes, they are absolutely. But remember, when you were drawing that mushroom fan, you could have just said the height equals the width. And then as you played with the adjustment, it would automatically adjust. We would have all these markers so that in the actual project, you can dimension to those locations. But that was what I saw you could have done for a little bit better shape than that back extrusion. And if you're saying, well, there's still that little piece that's missing in there, well, couldn't you just come in here and say create? But what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking that when you do this, see how that's a big box? See, me personally, I would have put that box in there, Eric, and I would have actually said right here at this extrusion end, I would have made a new one, and I would have said it's the wall width.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
Now you could have actually made an adjustable wall width. We could have done that with an instance parameter. We could, right? Because we have that. That is in this one right here. That would be what this depth is actually going to be, is what you would be making your wall width. The depth is not important on this guy. You would then be saying that this is that wall width. Now, do you see how those equals there? Because there used to be a requirement for the equals. We don't want that equals. See, so now when we make that, you'll notice the back reference plane doesn't move. But do you see how that's still moving? So watch this. I believe if you move this down and this down, and we take and we pin these two together. We say we always want that to be about that size. Now it should not do that mess up. Still doing it. Oh, because I had this set for the wall width. That's why it did it. It's not actually terrible, to be quite honest with you. Somehow it's kept that equality right here. I put, no. This would be this one here. We didn't put that equality on there. It's like it had that equality somehow. It retained it. Interesting. I'll have to figure out why that was. But the thing I wanted to tell you was, right, this plane out here is your front plane. Me personally, I would have probably said create another extrusion way out here on the front face. Right? So look, I'm going to take him. I'm going to change him to go onto the front. And then I'm going to basically say that he's only going to go 2 inches or 1 inch. And what that could have very easily been for you is what you didn't want to do, which was, I don't want to make that louver. You make a louver, Control C, go to appearance, you got to duplicate it there, Control V, make this thing look light, go to graphics, go to fan cage, make a new one. And now I'd probably do that same doggone 3 inches. See, now it sort of looks like a louver in the inside of in the corner. So you can see where it's actually blowing out. So in case somebody's going to put a piece of equipment there, it's not all tucked into the other room. I'm just saying. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
Yeah.
That louver material that I just made had a transparency. So you want to do that transparency only if you're trying to make that the wires of a cage. And the one that's more important is understanding that if I use that wires of the cage and I put it on a curved revolve, that it creates that surface. Okay? You want to know why? I'll tell you why. One of the hardest things to do in Revit, and this is my front view, people, I've seen them forever try to create an extrusion for brick. Okay? And what they try to do is this creature here. And the question becomes, how do you put that pattern on there? Right? See, so if I now was going to make a new material, you'll see, you should really see how quickly I am creating new materials. I'm not farting around with this. I just go for a material that, a color that I want. And in this guy, what I was trying to drive was they try to make a new material. And they say that some people even come up with, that there's 3 bricks in every 8 inches. Do you know that, Nate?
I did not.
Well, what's 8 inches divided by 3?
2 and 5/8. 2 and 5/8.
How about what you really do is you say equals 3 divided by 8 inches. And it will actually calculate that for you. wasn't it though, was it? Equals
It's like
8
211
inches.
sixteenths, I believe.
8 inches divided by 3. Not, I did it backwards.
It's like 2 11/16.
Right? Go back in and edit it. 171, 256. What they're trying to do is they're trying to put that pattern on the bricks. That's not how the bricks are. Okay? And there are challenging details where you try to draw a line and then you do a polar array and you spend a half a day doing this. Watch this. If instead of drawing it like that, instead I go create and I do a sweep, right? And I draw that curve. Right? It's the head, it's this arch above a brick wall. And now the magic part is you come in here to the profile, which I'm going to do in my right view, right? And this is where people don't know what to draw. What you need to draw is a brick, right? And this brick is going to be 8 inches tall, 8 inches tall, and whatever the proper depth is. And we say finish, and we apply that material. And you say, oh, damn, it does the same thing. But now watch. If this here has an angle on it, doesn't need to be much. Look. Why am I not seeing it? What is going on? My Revit's gone down. That is really weird. Unless I had a battery die. No, it's pinning, but my keyboard's not working.
Your keyboard's not working.
I can't orbit in this. Oh, it's plan view. There's what I'm looking for. But I don't understand why that's not. Oh, because I did that. I got confused between the back and the front. When I drew that angle on this side, see, so watch this. If I would have angled this backside, then you'll see that it's following it. Or I could have just orbited the view. You just need to put a little bit of an angle. When you do, you can get that radial pattern. See how that's now, and most obvious place is right down here. See how that looks? So when someone wants you to put that radial pattern on something, he's a challenge. All you have to do is it has to be a revolve. Can't be, or I'm sorry, a sweep or a revolve. See how I showed you it on the sweep? You see how that, and realize that that might be something more like this. You might say, no, back at your air conditioner, right? For these, for your big mechanical units that are on the roof that need a fan. Look how that looks for a fan. See, it looks beautiful in the side view. It ends up looking good in this view. Can't see it there. It's back view. See that nice grill? Soda dispensers, when they've got the little grills over them, that's how we do a little bit of work. And people can see, oh, that's where the fan is. Okay? So the big one I wanted you to walk away with, though, is writing this being equal, right? Writing it as a parameter. And sometimes we might want to say, so in other words, when you were drawing that mushroom fan, and I was amazed how long you were so cute when you were drawing it. Just try to throw something in there, finish the revolve, see what it looks like, and then make some adjustments. Don't don't be doing a revolve and going like this and putting little 1/8 inch radiuses and little notches. Zoom out, look, see where it's going to be. It's going to come up to here. I'm going to draw a little bit different one. I'm going to draw one that's more like a mushroom. Draw your shape. I did like what Eric did. Eric did very good by showing you the scale. Okay. That was an excellent job. You then take this and you said, oh boy, that's way too big. I want where it's at right now to be back here. And what you didn't realize, Eric, is those lines got close enough to those reference planes to then be moved by them.
I saw that. I didn't mind it though once we got them scaled correctly to the base.
So, but it did me a lot of good to watch you. Did you create you were to the point where you created those exhaust fans? Do you know where they go, Nathan?
Yeah.
All right. Here's what I wanted you to do. The last thing you were drawing.
Nathan, the connection is an exhaust connection.
Yeah, okay, but here, listen to me, because this is where you're gonna be so frustrated. Because when you put this guy on your ductwork that's going perfectly straight up the building, it's gonna cause your ductwork to move. Do you see how his connector is not, the X is not crossing the right spot?
Right there.
Yep. Look at how it's not crossing where the insertion points are in the center, those two center planes. Yep. So edit the extrusion that you mounted that on.
We should have put reference planes in for that and made that.
No. Now delete those purple lines. Now draw a hexagon. Delete them. Now draw a hexagon.
Any one of these?
Either one. Try one. Now stop. Go change it from 6 sides to 4 sides. Now try it. All right, so if you wanted it to be the other one, go pick on the other hexagon and watch what it does. I think it even keeps that point. And if he wanted it to be 1 foot, what would you type in? 6 inches. And when you do finish, it'll fix that connector. There you go. You see how we draw squares? Next time Eric says draw a square, don't draw 4 lines. Don't draw a rectangle. Draw a square. You got to be fast at that if we're going to try to do this kitchen equipment. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I just need more practice.
Well, my hope is next week we just do nothing but build equipment. Now, I might even send you on a day where I let you look for equipment through some files. If you noticed, I sort of shared some files with you, buddy.
Yeah, I've already downloaded a few of them.
At the end of the day, you're better off if you build them and build them simply. You're going in the right direction, but please remember to make those reference planes that are on the sides and the front and the top and the back to be those ones. That's very beneficial. It makes the family work so much better in the project. See,
And
pick on yours. See
You
how it
want this
says
to
weak
be,
reference? That's all I'm saying. Most importantly, that's going to drive home to you where the back is, because I need you to understand where the back is absolutely critical. If you wanted to draw a little extrusion on that back plane, how would you do it? Go down to your front view, draw your extrusion, just draw a shape extruded. Perfect. Say finish. See how he's in the middle? And you say, no, that's like an air dam out at the front. Change its work plane. Change its work plane. Yep. And change it to the front or the back. Now, when you do that, do you see how that's overlapping?
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
it needs to be
Over
offset.
there in your extrusion start end, you need it to be a negative number. See that? And if you wanted those to be a little knob or a little this or a little that, I only want that to be a 1/4 inch. Or if you wanted it to be a plate, you see how quickly, if you just have these 4 views open. And you're close. I used to do it the way you're doing it right now. And I think that's where Eric came up with it. Most of my first videos were drawn that way. But it wasn't until I started thinking about teaching this class on how to draft that I realized that the proper way is, ironically, and I'm sure the original guy came up with it, when you open up a generic model, if you instantly type in WT, it's to have the left view. It's going to automatically have the left, then the front, then the top, and then the 3D. Now understand that what I do is, before I go over here and open up the right view, I get in this left view. See now how the right view and the left view, if I zoom to there and if I zoom to there, you would find, see how they're the same view? Well, look, I did the same thing up here with the front and the back, right?
Yeah, I see.
So that it makes it easy for me to decide which plane that I'm going to be drawing on. But even if I don't draw on the correct one, no big deal. Change its work plane. Control that object. If you do, then these things become more stretchable easily without you having to do a lot of work. And that's really the goal. But we don't need this guy straight. You don't need this fan, 2 versions of this fan yet. But when they start doing their calculations and that one room has a bunch of extra equipment in it, it needs a little bit bigger fan. That's when we make CF2. But right now, it should be called CF1. It should be named continuous fan, something that's obvious. We don't really even know it. That name actually would then also become its description so that you can write that schedule. I mean, that's why I tried to teach you schedules. Dude, most people don't even get a chance to look at schedules till they start getting to more advanced classes. And that's where the mistakes are made. And most people don't understand how to make those filters, those view filters, for a much longer time. That's so important for you to learn early on. It's going to put so much arsenal behind you, okay? But we do need to get you building these families. I need you to be able to see the different shapes. I know that when you finally did that revolve, it was like, oh, I see it now. Don't be so afraid. There's nothing you can tear up. You're not going to break anything permanently. Hit the close, see what it looks like. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's where I think that will really benefit by building that kitchen equipment. I can't wait to put you loose on a soda machine and say, Nathan, I know you got soda from many a soda machine. Just make me a damn soda machine. That a person who's watching, looking at your Revit file thinks, hey, that's a soda machine. I recognize that. That's much more important than a bunch of little tiny fillets and radiuses. Keep thinking about my methodology for this hatch, okay? For the ability to be able to put that hatch and to be able to put those cages on there alone, people will waste a lot of time with those where they're really easy to do if you take that methodology. So, anything else we want to cover today? Do you have enough to do? I liked how you were doing your to-do list. You should be able to go back through and work on your to-do list until we're ready to get together again tomorrow.
All right.
Why don't you just shoot out a text or shoot an email to both of us, and one of us will pick up whenever
Okay.
you got some work to do.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
extracted all that kitchen equipment. I want to do that kitchen equipment next week, but I really want first mechanical and plumbing by Sunday night so that I can post them the way that they post them. So that I can look like, oh, I just thought that's how we were supposed to do our job. I didn't mean to do more than I was supposed to. Right?
So you
Yeah.
do want us to try and get the lights and diffusers in?
I do think that would be a wonderful idea.
Okay.
I would love to do that. I hate to have you have it go do with the lights. I'd like for Nathan, as soon as he can reach out to you tomorrow, that you two could get started on putting the lights in. Because once you put those in, then you update that link in your mechanical file. Now you know where to put the damn diffusers.
And he
That's
put
all right.
that rooftop exhaust fan on in the model already, right?
Not yet. No, I have not.
Okay.
Do you know where it goes?
I have an idea. It shows it on the plans.
Goes right on top of the orange duct near where they show it on the plans.
In the roof.
Okay, and I can just close this. No problems.
Did you push it into your project yet? That would be a little problem. You'd lose all that. You hit too many cancels there, buddy.
We
I
talking
think
about?
you hit too many cancels. I don't think you pushed it in. Oh, you did push it in. You did. You did, or it would have said overwrite. I didn't see that extra click. My bad.
I don't think I saved it yet.
No, you didn't. Did you change this category?
We'll see. If not, I'll change it when I go back in. Level 2.
Level 4. Or level roof.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got two over here then.
They're essentially coming up where those orange ducts are coming up. I don't know what this second one is, Brian. I don't know if it is accurate.
I know
Mechanical
what
roof
one is.
or roof?
Roof. Right there it is. The orange one. Yep. Should turn orange. Nope.
No, you're gonna have to drag that connection into it.
You can do that in the 3D view. Yep, that's it. See how I put a reducer on it?
Yeah.
That's because you didn't make that connector 10 by 10. If you went into that family real quick, pick the connector down at the bottom. Well, you got to say 10 inch by 10 inch. Very good. Just want you to know how to do that because that's what we're going to need to do. Load that into the project. Guess what will happen? That's the frustration. It breaks them. It's no longer connected. Right? That's why I made it 10 by 10.
You didn't check what is it under mechanical equipment?
Hit cancel. Oh, open it up one more time.
Yeah.
Check that connector. Was that set to be exhaust?
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah.
No,
No.
I don't think he
Did
did.
not.
That supply
it-
air's got a different symbol.
It was on the other one.
And you see that says right there, flow direction, not bi-directional. This doesn't really matter, but it's really what? In. It's coming into the fan. And you see, if we put the calculated flow rate on there, that's what would size all the duct. You see the mechanical flow down below there? It says so many CFM.
Yeah.
If you plug that in, we can actually make this fan start to drive the size of the duct. But we don't know what that is. We don't even know this much about the fan, right? You created it. So, but it's a good idea to have it say exhausted in. No, you don't even need to save it, dude. You don't even need to save it. Hit cancel. Just load it into the project. You never need to save those. Okay, now what you need to do is go down to your families. Go to mechanical equipment. See the family one. Hit the plus next to it. Exhaust fan, or exhaust fan 10 by 10. You can do it however you want to do it.
I'd put rooftop exhaust. Well, the exhaust fan rooftop.
Right? Because you do have another exhaust fan, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. Now, truthfully, you could double click on that exhaust fan rooftop and you should see that there's the one below it. You should see there's a place for the type mark. See that type mark?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it would say EF-2. Say okay. See the other one that's right there? That's right above it, exhaust fan, the one you already created. Double click on it. What do you think its type mark's going to be? Right? Now, those fellas right there, those are nice to be on your mechanical legend. You know what you have on your mechanical legend? Those big pieces of equipment? No, we don't do those. We do the little objects. You know what I'm talking about? Take me to any sheet and show me your mechanical legend.
Yeah, you don't put the whole air handling unit on there. Maybe the VAV.
Right, that's what you would want in there. He's got the VAV. Now he should be able to put in EF1 and EF2.
Oh, I see. I didn't have anything else to put in there.
But that's all right. That's all right because it actually cut you out a nice space. Don't be sorry. You did good. Okay?
And Nathan, don't forget you got your continuous fan as well, which I think they called it out as CF1.
Correct.
All right.
Well, I think they just called it CF. I think the exhaust fans, they called them both EFs. See, but they actually need a number so they can have a schedule. So we can say you need 2 EF2s, but you only need 1 EF1. And you need 3 EF3s because they're in the kitchen. Yeah,
So
you're catching on. You're catching on. That's it.
All right. I'm ready for dinner.
That's
Are we
fine.
wrapping up soon?
I'm probably just gonna go place these and then fix all my sheets. I have a lot to do, so I'm probably just gonna stay.
Well, listen, man, you know, if you get jammed, call. But if not, we need you to get those clicks in. We need to get you getting on some alone time with some shared time. I think we got a good bit accomplished. I'm feeling good about the mechanical. Okay. As far as the connections to the diffusers, that could come or go. Be quite honest with you, I'd take the mechanical. What does it really need yet, though? Those enlarged plans sheeted. Remember those? Remember when we started out with those?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And for the plumbing, we want to do that for the all the restroom areas, janitor closets.
Yeah, I have the for
Yep.
restrooms. And I had the electrical added too. Do you want to add anything to the electrical? Do the yeah, call outs.
Remember that? Yep, that's gonna get that. Yep, and you can see where that could actually get copied from the other. You see why we open up
Yeah, you're right.
4 versions of Revit?
I even did that to do it to the mechanical. I don't know why.
Now you're talking.
Anything else?
IT and electrical rooms.
Yeah, you're gonna find they're both gonna be right beside each other, and you can put them on one view. But yeah, I think you're catching on. And then it's gonna be putting in the lights is gonna be the same as putting in the diffusers. And what I'd recommend, Eric, is try to do the basement area A, right? Do the lights, then do the diffusers, show him how it connects in. And from there, he should be able to use the weekend, and we get together on Sunday and post these sheets. You've got more than enough to be proud of. Okay, I'm feeling confident. That's the only reason I want to even get into doing that kitchen equipment next week.
All right. And there's just to secure my what I'm thinking. Exhaust fan.
Yeah, although they didn't have one called out on there because we didn't get a roof plan for that area. I think
Put
they're
them up
going to
there.
existing.
Put them up there.
Okay.
Put them up there. All right.
Put them up there, buddy. Good catch. A plus.
All right.
An exhaust fan up there. Yep. Now
Okay.
there's probably going to be some more. You know that down at the.
It was like in this location.
No, it's going to be in the B wing, but what it's going to be for the cafeteria. But I believe they're probably going to try to use those inline ones like you did in the bathroom down there.
All right.
In other words, there's no way they can exhaust all that up through the floors to the roof. So I think they're going to try to side discharge it out there where the grease interceptor is. Right? There's going to be one of those type. You got it right. That's an inline fan. The other are the rooftop fans.
Yeah.
Which one do you think you'd rather put in? Rooftop's going to last a lot longer. It's going to be a heck of a lot easier to maintenance because if the guy needs to maintain it, nobody's up on the roof. You're not going to be disturbing anyone.
No.
If you got to go into the building and work on that inline filter, you see where that's a pain in the ass?
Yeah.
You got dust and debris and a maintenance guy traipsing around. It's not really what you want to do.
Yeah, I thought I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were asking me like a personal question, like which one I would prefer to install.
No, I was just trying to assign some kind of a reasons of a preference to it.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't forget it's after we get the electrical and the the diffusers in, then we want to basically surf all of our sheets. right? To see how they're looking.
Yeah.
Your add trunk lines should say for supply, and we need to add a note for the to-do list to add this return lines.
There you go. That's good thinking, Eric. I like that at all. So you added supply trunk lines. Put the word supply in front of the trunk lines.
No, in front of trunk.
That don't matter.
Okay.
I can live with it, dude. These are just our notes. And then you could copy and paste that to add. Oh, on the other side, he wants you to add the return lines. You got to add the return trunks. And do another one to enter. Size all ductwork. And you'll need that information from Robert if you wanted to put Robert in parentheses. That makes sense?
Yeah. But I'm not able to do that right now.
But no, but it's on the to-do list. We want to put what our next steps are on our to-do list. Because what happens is you open up the file and you sit there and say, I wonder what I should even be doing. I don't even really know. If was I supposed to set up sheets? Was I supposed to do what was I supposed to do? This helps you out more than it helps anyone out. But it also allows us to see the steps that we did when we copy it from here to the last changed verified version. Like I said, that list should really be the to-do to done list. All right?
Yeah.
I'm plenty hungry.
All right. I'll finish placing those then.
I don't think that I would have changed it. I would have left that alone because they're all in all of the disciplines there. See, so really you would want to change that 5 location, 6 locations. So just leave it be like that. All right?
All right.
Just keep filling it out. Just keep filling it out. When you get to it, heck, in the morning, you might be thinking, I thought about 2 other things I could do to my files. I mean, I do this to my files for myself, even if I'm the only one working on the job. Okay?
Yeah.
Multiple copies. You're really flying. You're flying at a pace that's just absolutely unheard of. I hope that this is fruitful. Tell me about what you want to do. Do you want me to mail you a check or you want to come down here?
Um,
And understand, I told you I was going to pay you that amount of money for December. I was going to pay you that amount of money for January. I didn't care when last time it was because I was getting paid from someone. But at this point, I can pay you now. Okay?
All right. I'll come down.
Understand, that's me paying you.
I know.
That's not you getting paid for the job you're working on. And unfortunately, you've got to push yourself to get to a position where you can wait on what you're getting paid from the company in order to really make things more lucrative.
Yeah, yeah. Because like you
Does
said,
that
I
make
mean,
sense?
waiting.
I personally think it's only fair that the money that I've paid you, I take out of Robert's money for this project.
Right.
Which means that you got free schooling, you got paid. The sooner you can actually turn him in directly into your client, but understand what that means for you. That means it's going to be that duration of what his pay cycle is. And it might be good. There are people that are good. Typically, architects and engineers. Dude, I had jobs that I went. There was one company that paid me 2 years after I invoiced them.
That doesn't even seem
Fair?
Yeah.
Reasonable?
Well, it's
Had
all about if
several-
you want to get a lawyer involved, and you really can't afford that now, can you?
I had several. Well, shit. They were Eric and I when we first started out the first time that we were going to do this back in '97. We had $70,000 owed to us, and they never paid it.
They still haven't.
No, they never will. And I know that I've had other people that don't pay.
Yep,
That
me too.
happens. It hurts. It's part of the reason that it becomes lucrative if you are doing it, because like I said, my hope is that this guy sees the value, and it's a value that makes it worth our while.
Yeah. I have a question.
Tell me.
How did y'all go to find work? Like, where did you go? Like when you
For
had no
what?
connections. Like when you had no connections, like where did y'all go to find work?
Never
We
really
just
was
had
in that
connections.
position. What happened is, well, I think we both probably started working overtime for the company that we were working with. And then at some point, we left that company that we were working with. And then they called us up and said, "Hey, we've got some work. Is there any way you could help us out?" And then we started picking up work on the side in that fashion.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
We were also a big part of the Architectural Volleyball League, which got most of my job offers came from there. People would ask me, "Am I looking for work?" And if I was at a company for 2 years and I hadn't gotten a reasonable raise, I was looking for work.
I got you.
I
And then
would
the side
say,
work just comes from those connections usually.
I would say headhunters, they are definitely out there looking for people, but that's to place you in a job it's very similar to a full-time job. It's just a little bit worse. It's a temp job,
Yeah.
in which case they're taking probably just about as much as you make and putting it in their pocket for doing nothing more than making that connection. My recommendation is you blow everybody at the table away on this job. You have 5 prospective clients: an architect, a mechanical engineer, plumbing engineer, electrical contractor, plumbing contractor, potential for the owner. More importantly, you could go show it to someone else and say that we could do that to your project. I personally say, and I told you that I had work for you for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
I've got these jobs, these old jobs that I'm going to turn loose on you, and I'm going to say, "Hey, Nathan, remember what we did with that last project that you just did, that Blythewood? Well, you're going to do it just for the heck of it to this file. They already built the building. Nobody needs the drawings, but I need you to show me that everything that I taught you stuck." If you do that for 2 or 3 jobs, there's no way you wouldn't get work. None. Okay.
Yeah.
If Mike jumps on a couple more times and starts seeing what you can do, trust me, you're not going to be looking for work. Question's going to be, what do you want to do at the end of February? Do you want the full-time position? If you want the full-time position, I told you I would find you work. Okay? It's easy to find you a job. Now, doing what I do, that's a little bit different. Now, I will tell you that a lot of people are letting people work remote. Okay?
Yeah.
That was a nice benefit of COVID. And unfortunately, what people don't realize is the reason that they still are letting BIM people work remote is because there's so few BIM people out there that if the BIM person doesn't want to move, they just don't want to let that get in the way of them having a BIM person if they can hire one. Okay, we do hold some cards right now. There are not enough qualified BIM people out there.
Yeah.
And I told you would be prepared, but that requires you to do a fair amount of work. And I'm telling you, there's no better way to make it stick than you to do another one of these jobs. Now, personally, I've got my fingers crossed that I can find another little one that we might be able to actually do real work that could potentially pay off. And who knows, if both jobs end up paying off, maybe you never even have to worry about finding work. Did you ever talk to Tyler?
No, I've been too worried
Tyler,
about
if you're
this.
watching this, the boat's pulling out, buddy. We're a third of the way through the month. Can you believe we're a third of the way through the month, Nathan?
No.
You got some nice drawings. Those drawings are really looking sharp. With the legends, with the colors, there's a lot to be proud of on those drawings. I promise you, there's going to be some impressed sons of bitches. I hate to make you do this next step of putting these lights and these diffusers in, but we can't really be sure our drawings are set up correctly until we get a little bit more data in there. Okay?
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
All right. Y'all
Let
too.
us know when you want to get on. Eric,
Tomorrow?
you know you can always call me if you want to get on. Have a good evening, guys.
All right. You too.